For Officer Jennifer Sebena, this was just another overnight shift. She had volunteered for overtime, choosing duty over comfort, believing the night would pass without incident. What she didn't know was that this night had been carefully chosen, that someone had been watching her, studying her, mapping her movements, waiting. Jennifer pulled her patrol car into the parking area behind Wauwatosa Fire Station No. 1, a spot officers had used for years to complete paperwork or take short breaks. It was familiar, predictable, safe. She stepped out of her vehicle, unaware that a man had been hiding nearby for hours in the freezing darkness. He knew her routine. He knew she would come here. He knew this was the moment. 2 gunshots broke the silence. Then 3 more followed. The sounds echoed briefly before being swallowed by the cold night air. By the time the city stirred, Officer Jennifer Sebena was already dead, murdered on duty by the one person she trusted with her life. Jennifer Lynn Sebena was born on June 21, 1982. From a young age, she was known as someone who took responsibility seriously. Friends and family described her as disciplined, empathetic, and deeply principled. She wasn't drawn to police work for power or authority. She wanted to serve. She wanted to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. After completing her education, Jennifer enrolled in the Milwaukee Area Technical College Police Academy. She didn't just graduate, she excelled. Instructors noted her maturity, confidence, and ability to communicate calmly under pressure. She graduated at the top of her class, a distinction that immediately set her apart. In January 2011, Jennifer joined the Wauwatosa Police Department. From her first days on the force, supervisors noticed something rare. She listened more than she spoke. She treated people with dignity, even during arrests. By July 2012, she had earned solo patrol status. Just 1 month before her death, she completed her probationary period, officially becoming a full officer. In 96 years, the Wauwatosa Police Department had never lost an officer in the line of duty. Jennifer was part of a department that believed tragedies like that happened elsewhere. Jennifer's commitment to service didn't end when she clocked out. At Elmbrook Church in Brookfield, she volunteered as a youth leader, mentoring teenage girls who saw her as both a role model and a safe place. She remembered birthdays. She listened without judgment. She cared deeply. One of the girls Jennifer mentored later said that Jennifer became the person who cared more about what was happening in her life than anyone else. That wasn't unusual for Jennifer. She gave herself fully to the people around her. Inside the police department, officers remembered her smile, warm, genuine, and constant. Lieutenant Brian Zalewski later described her as having a rare balance of compassion and strength. She wasn't hardened by the job. She was shaped by it. Jennifer's relationship with Benjamin Sebena seemed like something out of a movie. The two had known each other in high school, but reconnected years later while Benjamin was serving overseas with the United States Marine Corps. He was on his second tour in Iraq. Emails turned into long conversations. Conversations turned into emotional connection. Across continents, they fell in love. Their wedding photographs captured what everyone believed was a fairy tale. Jennifer wore white. Benjamin stood beside her in his Marine dress uniform, medals displayed proudly across his chest. He was a decorated war hero, a Purple Heart recipient, a man who had sacrificed for his country. Jennifer believed she was marrying a survivor. In February 2005, Benjamin Sebena was nearly killed in a mortar attack in Iraq. His kneecap was shattered. His arm was left barely attached by tendons. Doctors told him he would never walk again. Jennifer refused to accept that outcome. She helped him through surgeries, physical therapy, and pain that never truly left. Physically, Benjamin recovered more than expected. Emotionally, he did not. Benjamin had seen extreme violence. He had killed dozens of people in combat. One of them was a teenage Iraqi boy he had befriended, a boy he had taught English, who later fired on his unit. Benjamin killed him. He later spoke of calling in airstrikes that killed civilians. He described cleaning blood and human remains from military vehicles. Psychiatrists later described his PTSD as among the worst they had ever seen. Jennifer knew her husband was struggling. She believed patience and love could heal him. Around their Menominee Falls home, she left handwritten notes, messages of faith, messages of reassurance, messages of love. But the cracks were growing. On December 6, 2012, just 18 days before her death, Jennifer confided in a fellow officer. She revealed that Benjamin had pointed a gun at her head during one of his episodes. She described his flashbacks, his anger, his increasing instability at night. Despite everything, Jennifer stayed. In the days leading up to Christmas, Benjamin's behavior changed. He began following Jennifer during her patrol shifts, watching where she parked, learning where she took breaks, tracking her movements with military precision. Jennifer never noticed. To Benjamin, she was no longer his wife. She was a target. On December 23, 2012, Jennifer left home at 5:15 p.m. to work an overtime shift. The streets were calm. Families prepared for Christmas morning. At 3:29 a.m., Jennifer checked in with dispatch for the last time. Minutes later, she parked behind fire station number 1. Benjamin was already there. He attacked from behind. 2 shots struck the back of her head. As she fell, she instinctively reached for her service weapon. Benjamin ripped it from her holster and fired 3 more rounds into her face. The medical examiner later concluded that the first shots likely killed her instantly. The rest were personal. At 4:24 a.m., dispatch attempted to reach Jennifer. There was no response. This was unusual. Officers used GPS to locate her squad car. At 4:38 a.m., an officer found her body lying on the cold pavement behind the fire station. The department was shattered. At the crime scene, investigators noticed something unusual: a spent cartridge casing from a rare 9x18 Makarov round. It was incompatible with standard service weapons. Traffic cameras soon captured a black Toyota Prius leaving the area at 3:45 a.m. The same vehicle Benjamin drove. Inside the Sebena home, detectives found missing ammunition, documents for the exact weapon used, blood-stained drywall, and a hastily discarded shower curtain. Jennifer's service weapon was missing. Benjamin arrived at the police station claiming concern. When told his wife was dead, he never asked how. Alone in an interview room, he muttered, "She was helping me. How could I do that to her?" After nearly 60 hours of questioning, Benjamin confessed. Benjamin admitted to stalking Jennifer, waiting for hours, shooting her from behind, using her own gun to finish the act. He claimed he killed her to save her soul. Both weapons were later found hidden in the attic. Benjamin Sebena was charged with first-degree intentional homicide. He pleaded guilty. Psychiatrists confirmed he understood right from wrong. In August 2013, he was sentenced to life in prison with parole eligibility after 35 years. 1 year later, Jennifer's brother died by suicide, overwhelmed by grief. Jennifer's name was added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Jennifer Sebena was more than a statistic. She was a protector, a mentor, a sister, a daughter, an officer who chose service, even when it cost her everything.